My 34 female, sister Meg, 31, cheated on my ex-brother-in-law, Josh, with his best friend Liam. They did it for over 4 years until Josh found out and broke up. Liam and Meg have been officially together for 5 years. My ex-brother-in-law has been my best friend since elementary school, and my sister knew him through me. So despite my saying it would make things uncomfortable, she insisted on hitting on him until he noticed, and they started dating. My relationship with Meg took a toll on me because I was annoyed with her for doing this to my best friend, but we never cut contact because of my nephew, her son with Josh and my godson. 1 year ago, I received a large amount of money, an inheritance from my late boyfriend. Because I have good financial condition, I decided that half would go to help my parents and siblings. My parents received 50%, and my 4 siblings, 12.5% each. My parents decided to renovate the house. 2 of my brothers paid off their house debts. My another sister asked if she could pay for her IVF treatment with her girlfriend with that money, and I said yes. At no time did I control how they wanted to spend their money. Well, Meg was super happy with my help and talked about paying for IVF with Liam, his infertility, and I hesitated. I'm still best friends with Josh, and I can tell you what they did to him caused years of therapy to get him to start thinking about dating someone. I don't talk to Liam 99% of the time, and I only helped my sister because after all, she had my nephew. I didn't go to the wedding and always made it very clear that it wasn't a relationship I would support. So I told her that I didn't feel comfortable giving her the money for this as it involves Liam, her, and their relationship specifically. So I'd rather help in some other way. Renovate the house, pay off debts, refurbish the house, and that I would take double care that the money didn't go to that. She started screaming, telling me to get over something that had nothing to do with me, and that was years ago, and that I was treating her and my other sister differently because of the past. We argued a lot, and I decided to create a fund for my godson that only he could handle at age 18 instead of helping her. This created even more mess because she claimed that I helped everyone but her, and that I was cruel in denying helping her to have another child when they can't naturally. I really don't feel comfortable doing this. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. It's your inheritance money. You can choose what to do with it. I think setting up a fund for your nephew is a brilliant idea. If she wants another kid so badly, she can cheat on Liam. Or maybe Liam can cheat on her with someone wealthy enough for an IVF. If she wants another child, she could try adoption. You're treating your 2 sisters differently. So what? One of them didn't put your best friend through the ringer. The money's yours. You could have chosen to keep the money. You could have given it to Josh, an art museum, or the local animal shelter. Meg doesn't have any say in what you do with the money. You are the idiot. To be accurate, you placed conditions on her that you didn't put on your other siblings. I feel for Josh, and it sucks what your sister did. But if you're giving the inheritance money as a gift to your parents and siblings, you shouldn't be able to dictate what they do with the money. At that point, it's no longer a gift, but almost a bribe. You're telling your sister, hey, you can have this large sum of money, but only if you do what I want you to do. You offered them options like renovating the house or paying bills, but obviously, having a child is far more important. To me, it feels like you're punishing them on behalf of Josh, but your sister's right. Also, what would happen if your sister and Liam adopt? Would you not make a trust fund for the child because it's Liam's child, even though they're still your nephew? I kind of doubt it. I don't think so, honestly. The conditions are that OP doesn't like them as people anymore and doesn't want to support their relationship. She likes everyone else and supports their choices and relationships, but not Meg and Liam, and that's something OP gets to decide in her life. This is a great time to show Meg that actions have consequences. Honestly, she's lucky you're not meaner, because if it was me, I would have used some of the money to do something extra nice for Josh. I'm a woman whose 30th birthday is approaching. Here, that birthday is an important one, so I want to do something special. My boyfriend is 29 and we've been dating for 3 years. We've yet to spend my birthday together, as his younger brother shares the same birthday. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. I've made it clear I want to do something for my birthday, but he insists that he has to go to his family, as it'll be his brother's 25th. He told me to come with him, and we'd make it a shared thing. but I refused as I knew if I went to his family during his brother's birthday, it would not be shared. I refused. I ended up planning my birthday. I've booked a week-long vacation to Dubai and will stay in an underwater suite in Atlantis, the Palm. I've made it clear if he wants to come along, that's fine, but I'll be taking my friend if he doesn't come. He's upset with me as I've planned such a great holiday, knowing he won't be able to go, and how I could have booked this for another date, telling me it didn't need to be on the actual date. I'm just tired of doing nothing on my birthday with my boyfriend. I've been understanding, but this is special, so I don't think it's unreasonable to want to do something memorable on the day and not share it. He thinks I'm being selfish and spoiled. I can understand if I was a new girlfriend wanting to spend it with his brother, but we've been dating for some time. I don't think I'm asking for much here. Am I in the wrong? Not the idiot. Why have you had to give up every birthday to his brother? I've never heard of a spouse doing that until your story. You're not being spoiled, he's being neglectful. It's gonna be like this for the whole relationship, and bro is 5 years younger, so literally every big milestone, he'll have one too, but at 5-year intervals. When it's her 35th, it'll be his 30th, so don't expect your boyfriend there. Same for her 45th. Why is she with him? I would completely understand if these were high school kids and the boyfriend's brother was 12, but these are grown adults in a long-term relationship. At what point is the man ever going to prioritize the OP over his adult brother? She should cut her losses, have a great birthday with her friend, and find someone who puts her first. What an idiot. He sounds very me. He doesn't care about your birthday. But oh no, you planned a cool trip, and he likes to go on cool trips. So it would be much more convenient if you just sat alone and bored on your birthday while he celebrates his brother's, and then plan the trip when he wants to come. Gotta wonder what he's hoping OP will do for him and his family for his big 30. Personally, I think she should tell him to pack and move in with bro to add to her B-Day present. Exactly. 3 years and he still treats you like you aren't a priority in his life? Is that what you want in this relationship? If you don't come first after 3 years, then I doubt you ever will. So go have fun on your trip and don't feel guilty about it. My sister, 22, and I, 23 male, usually get along pretty well. However, we just got into a huge fight. My parents have gone on a trip for a week, leaving me and her home alone today. But in 2 days, my sister's also leaving with her boyfriend on a trip. About 2 weeks ago, she told me that her boyfriend was going to be sleeping at our house these 2 days before their trip, while our parents were away. This made me a bit uncomfortable, so I told her that he could spend the day with us, but I really didn't feel comfortable with him sleeping over, even though it seemed like a relatively serious relationship, and her boyfriend seemed nice enough. I don't really know him very well. I've met him 2 or 3 times and we just greeted each other. Plus, they've been together for only about 4 to 5 months. She got really mad and we fought a bit, but then I had to leave because I wasn't staying home at the time and my ride was leaving. So the next day, I texted her saying that it was only 2 days and then they were going away for a week alone, so I would really appreciate it if he didn't sleep over those 2 days. Last week I came home and we didn't really talk about it, but today I brought it up, asking if he was going to sleep over, and she said yes. So we got into a huge fight. The dude is coming over later, and I just have to deal with it. Should I have just kept quiet and let him sleep over without saying anything? Am I even entitled to feel uncomfortable about this? Edit. My parents know they're going on a trip, but don't know about him coming over. She didn't tell them. She said they would say no. I'm not going to tell them though. I don't mind them being intimate. It's none of my business anyway. I just want to have a peaceful time without people coming over. You are the idiot. Why do you feel uncomfortable with it? Huh? You say absolutely nothing about your reasons. She's going to be sleeping with him, not you. Who appointed you to monitor your sister's love life and judge how serious her relationships are? You trying to control your sister because you're uncomfortable is wrong. Not the idiot. He's not trying to control her, but he doesn't want to feel uncomfortable in his own home. He put up a reasonable boundary and expressed his discomfort, which has nothing to do with their intimacy in the whole situation. Tried to come to a compromise, and his sister completely brushed it off and ignored him. Everyone in these comments forgets that the boyfriend doesn't live in this house, but OP does, and the boyfriend's not entitled to spend the night, but OP's entitled to feeling comfortable and secure in his own darn house. Agree, not the idiot. If it makes you uncomfortable having a man you don't know sleeping in your house, yours as much as it is your sister's, then you get a veto here. She can stay with him if they want to be together. If your sister wants to have her boyfriend over regularly as an adult can, then she needs to move out of mommy and daddy's house. Your sister knows your parents would say no, so she's trying to steamroll you. Pick up a phone and call your parents. My sister tried to do this to me once. Your sister knows your parents and their boundaries about their home and is choosing to disregard them. Everyone says she's known him for 4 or 5 months is a joke. We've had women on here with guys for years and didn't know half of what they did. This is your parents' house, so call them and tell them. Don't let your sister put you in the middle. Your sister's probably counting on your parents blaming you if something happens because you're the oldest and a guy. Leave it up to the parents that own the house to make the decision. My female 31, sister 35, Claire, has struggled with her inability to have kids for years. She gets all kinds of questions from people about when she'll have kids. Still, somehow, she focuses on what my husband says about the topic and complains about how he constantly makes backhanded comments about her inability to have kids. She once claimed he told her women in their 30s plus have lesser chances to bear children, or that one time she claimed he mocked her infertility by calling her garden barren, just like her. I admit that my husband is the type to dish it out, but her complaining seemed excessive because she never liked him anyway. Last week we got together for dinner at my parents' house. My sister came downstairs later while Mom and I were in the kitchen. She told me my husband suggested she back out of her IVF treatment and found better use for the money when she announced wanting to try IVF. She went on about how insensitive and hurtful his words were. I felt upset. I told her she was right to be mad, but she needed to stop coming to me to complain about him as if he was my son and try to speak to him instead. She snapped at me, saying she had already talked to him, but since he's my husband and I brought him into the family, then I should be the one to handle him. I told her the reasoning didn't make any sense, but she called me selfish and cruel, just like him. It got so overwhelming when my mom sided with her, even going as far as to say I was enabling him. I left and went home. My husband said my sister's just being too sensitive because he was giving his honest opinion when she brought up the IVF and said that if she has an issue with him, she should tell him to his face. He also said that she was probably looking for an excuse to pick an argument with me and that I was innocent and had nothing to do with this despite her trying to involve me. Neither she nor my parents are speaking to me as of now. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot, both you and your husband. A match made in heaven. Tell your husband to keep his mouth shut. My husband is the type to dish it out. No, your husband is an idiot that thinks it's appropriate to comment on your sister's body and reproductive issues. What an awful, inconsiderate man you married. You don't seem too far behind him. It's one thing to be honest if someone asks for your opinion. However, it's an entirely different thing to offer your opinion when it's neither wanted nor needed. He's the type to believe his opinion is relevant and that other people care to hear it. Hopefully someone clarifies to him that this is not the case, and since he's neither the sister's financial planner nor fertility doctor, he should sit back down. Fertility issues are incredibly personal, and your husband has absolutely no place dishing it out, as you call it, over something so personal and sensitive. And yes, she is sensitive. It's a sensitive topic, and you should be absolutely ashamed of your husband's disgusting behavior. He is being a cruel, vindictive bully who needs to learn that every little thought that passes through his bully brain doesn't need to come out of his mouth. Furthermore, him specifically targeting your sister says he wants to be cruel and hurtful to her, and you enable him. Why don't you care that he's intentionally cruel to her? Why do you feel that this isn't your business? Would you feel this way if he was insulting your mother? She's told him to his face. He doesn't care. Why do you hate your sister so much? She should kick both of you out of her life and your mother's right to support her. This is ridiculous. However, the family's opinions seem divided, so I want something unbiased. I, 33 male, have been married to my wife, 32, for 4 years, and we've been together for 10. She has an older sister, Emily, who moved out when she was 18 or 19. My wife, Kate, has a great relationship with Emily. She visits us a few times a month. Sometimes she takes our kids out, and we also do some activities as a family with her, like hiking, going overseas, and so on. However, we do not ask her to babysit our kids, as they have a nanny, and my mother to do so. My mother's left her job to spend more time with the grandchildren of her own free will, and we do reimburse her. Now, Emily's into makeup. In fact, I've never seen her without heavy makeup. Even when she stays over, she comes out of her room with a full face on and wears waterproof makeup to the swimming pool or to the beach. Kate told me she's been like this since Emily was 13. Over the weekend, our preteen daughter snuck into Emily's room when she was staying over and decided to play with her makeup and hide it. That was early in the morning. When I woke up, I bumped into Emily in the hallway while she was looking for her makeup, and I didn't recognize her. She looked completely different from what I was used to and looked like a middle-aged woman. I nearly called the police, thinking someone had broken into our house, but Kate stopped me. However, Emily already heard me saying, "Who the heck are you?" and is aware that I didn't recognize her. I've apologized and have explained to my wife and my sister-in-law that I didn't recognize her and thought a stranger broke in as Emily looked so different without makeup. However, Emily got upset, and she and my wife called me an idiot for this. Emily left and Kate gave me the cold shoulder. My father-in-law and mother-in-law are on my side, but I wonder if I was an idiot. Clearly, they don't believe that you actually thought it was a stranger, but that you were making a rude comment about how she looked without her makeup on. As sisters, they've known each other their whole lives, so they can't imagine making that mistake. And frankly, it's hard for me to believe that you were actually really contemplating calling the police. Logic says that the extra woman in your house at 7 a.m. was the same one that was there at 10 p.m. Not the idiot, if you're being honest. If sister-in-law really does do the full face 100% before leaving her room, I can guarantee OP would not recognize the woman in the early morning while not fully conscious if he's never seen her son's face before. Heavy, well-practiced makeup makes a huge appearance difference that can cause cognitive dissonance. It's like running into a friend you haven't seen in 20 years. You see someone that you feel is familiar, but you just can't place them. It was a genuine mistake, but it would help if you had a lengthy chat with your daughter about how inappropriate it is to go into someone else's stuff and hide it. Perhaps something that's a favorite of the child should be hidden, so the child can see how unpleasant the action actually is. I think your sister-in-law is a bit of an idiot here. If she constantly wears heavy makeup, she shouldn't be shocked when people who know her don't recognize her if she's wearing none. That's the problem with heavy makeup. Maybe it was a hit to her ego that you viewed her as a stranger after knowing her for about a decade.